So this is the Vector Optics Continental 1:6 by 24 second focal plane LPVO. And I'm pretty excited to get this out to the range and test it out because this LPVO has a ton of features at an unbelievable price. So let's check it out. So this is the top of the box. This is the side, tells you what it is. Got your reticle here, and you do have a QR code that you can scan. Now on this side of the box, it tells you that it's got the zero reset, the 30mm tube, it's shock proof. And here, it shows you the reticle, but it also shows you the fiber dot. And we're gonna dive into this in a little bit, because this is one of the most impressive features of this optic. Now, when we lift the lid off, we are presented with this. You've got some foam padding here. You've got the user manual. It is just a black and white user manual. Got another pamphlet in here talking about another optic that they have. And now you have this really nice foam cutout. We've got our optic right here. Now it does come with lens caps. This is kind of the bikini style. And then we have this. Let's see what this is. So when you first look at this, it kind of reminds you of a little mini can koozie. It's got a lanyard on it. But I do believe what we have inside of here is a lens cleaning cloth. This is really cool. So it's got the Vector Optics logo on it. It's got a QR code. And this is actually stitched into this, so it's not going to fall out. That's a pretty cool design. I've never seen anything like this. And then we move over here and we have our VIP warranty card. We'll go over the warranty here in a little bit. And it does come with a set of rings. Now these are 30mm medium profile rings, and we're not going to use these. They are nice rings, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what they look like. But you got your nut here to tighten this onto your 1913 rail, and then across the top, these do have 6 screws. Really nice set of rings. I just don't like using these on an LPVO. I prefer to just use a one-piece mount. So what I've got is a Monstrum Pro Series 7075 scope mount, but this is their lowest profile mount. Now we're not going to do a real deep dive into all the specs on this optic, so I'm going to actually bring those up on the screen and you can pause it and check it out. Now the Vector Optics Continental line of optics is their higher end line. And what really shocked me about this optic is when I got on the website and started going over all the specs, this actually uses German Schott Glass. And normally you're only going to see that in very expensive higher end optics. And I've already had this outside, and the glass on this is pretty impressive. Now my favorite part about this optic, the glass is close, but this is using the fiber reticle. And this is actually the second LPVO that came in this week that has a fiber reticle. So let me kind of explain to you what that is. Now normally all LPVOs have a lighted reticle, but they're never daylight bright or daytime bright. In fact, on most LPVOs on a bright sunny day, the illumination is absolutely worthless. But that's not the case when you have a fiber reticle. Now this has a very basic reticle, which is what I prefer on an LPVO. Same as I prefer second focal plane on an LPVO versus first focal plane. But basically, in the center of this reticle, there is a red dot. And from what I'm seeing so far, with this optic and the other one that I got in this week, they are daylight bright. In fact, it's almost like looking at one of Vector Optics' red dots that they use on a handgun when you have it turned up to the max brightness. Now, I've already installed the battery. It does run on a CR2032 battery, and you've got a cap right here on the end of where you adjust your brightness. This just threads off, and you have access to your battery. Now, this LPVO has 6 brightness settings, and what's really nice on this, right here you can see the number 1, and right now I'm off. Now, if I want to go to the lowest brightness setting, I can just click over to 1. It's got a really nice positive stop in between each setting. And if I want to turn it off, I just go back to off. But what's really cool with this, because some LPVOs, you got to go all the way around to get to the brightest setting. You do not have to do that with this Continental. If I want to go right to the brightest setting, which is 6, I can turn it right to 6, back off, and then go right to the lowest setting of 1. Now, the turrets on this are extremely nice. They are lockable turrets, so you will pull these up just like that and make your adjustments. They are very tactile and audible, and you do have a nice positive stop in between each click. Now, your clicks on this are 0.1 mrad per click. As you can see here, it says up. You've got an arrow facing this way, and it is extremely easy to see. The other really nice thing with these turrets, once you get them adjusted right where you want it, you can take a flathead screwdriver or a coin, take this screw out, and pull your turret off, go back to 0. I do not know if you can see this, but when you pull the turret up, there is a mark right there. We're on 0, and push it back down. And you have all the same exact features over here on the windage. Now, another really impressive feature on this is the adjustable diopter. And this is one of the smoothest ones I've ever used. No grittiness, no grinding. This is just butter smooth to adjust your diopter. So on day 1, all of the shooting with this optic was done in the competition bay at 40 yards or less. And on day 1, I pretty much had this LPVO on 1 power the entire day. And I was blown away by how bright the red dot was in the center of the reticle. And that red dot was brighter than any red illumination I've seen on an LPVO that I've tested on this channel. And as far as glass quality goes, we'll talk about that here in a few minutes when we move over to the rifle range. But the best part of all the shooting that I was doing in that competition bay was not only that bright fiber red dot in the center of the reticle, but once I got this LPVO adjusted right where I wanted it, got my diopter adjusted, when I would bring the rifle up, it was just as natural as me using a red dot or a prism optic with this dialed in right where I wanted it. Now, over the course of 2 days, and over 400 rounds racked up on this optic, I'm happy to report that it did not lose 0. And I've had some issues in the past when it comes to AKs. They are not the most forgiving rifle when it comes to optics. I've trashed a couple budget optics back in the day with an AK. Now, one of the biggest reasons we racked up a little over 400 rounds on this optic is because I was out doing the review on the X-Tech Mag 47s, which I will have a separate review coming out on those pretty soon. But my thought process was, well, you're already going out to do a mag review, so let's throw this optic on the AK and we can get a decent amount of rounds racked up on this. Now, having this optic on 1X and transitioning from target to target was very easy with this LPVO. It's got a really nice wide field of view at 1X. On 1X, it's got 124 feet of field of view. And when you crank this up to 6 power, you got a field of view of 20 feet. Now, this LPVO also has very good eye relief. It has 4 inches of eye relief. And no matter what power I had it on, even when I went over to the rifle range and had it cranked all the way up to 6 power, looking through this optic was excellent. I wasn't getting any kind of distortion. I wasn't losing my eye box. So this LPVO is very usable all the way up to 6 power. Because a lot of times when you're talking budget optics, once you get up past 5 power on a 6 power optic, sometimes it's not the greatest. But that wasn't the case with this Continental. Now on day 2, we moved over to the rifle range because I wanted to shoot the steel plates at 100 yards. And this is when I got really impressed with the glass quality on this. I put the AK in my turret rest, I cranked it all the way up to 6 power, and I started shooting at the permanent steel at 100 yards. And I was able to get some really good hits. And the weather was absolute crap. It was about 40 degrees, and I was battling 25 to 30 mile an hour winds all day. But for the most part, I was able to get the majority of all my hits on all the different size steel at 100 yards. So let's get into my pros and cons with this Continental 1:6 by 24 LPVO from Vector Optics. And we'll go over the cons first because I've only got 2 cons with this, and one of them I'm really nitpicking things. My number 1 con is when it comes to an LPVO, I like to see them come with a one-piece mount. Now chances are, even if they would have supplied a one-piece mount, it probably would not have worked on my AK because of the mounting system. So that's why I had to get that super low profile mount from Monstrum for this optic, because I wanted to test it on the AK. But for any other application, ARs, 22s, whatever you're going to put it on, I would much rather see a one-piece mount versus the scope rings that came with it. But when we talk about the price, when we get to the pros, I can give this a pass when I tell you how much you can get this for. Now my second con, and this is the one I'm nitpicking on a little bit, but the magnification on this, going from 1 to 6, it's a little stiff. It's nice and smooth, but it's just a little bit hard to turn. Now, it's definitely gotten better from when I first got it out of the box, so with use, it should dial right in, right where you want it. But other than that, that's really the only 2 cons I have with this. Now, when it comes to pros, there's a bunch, and we've already talked about a lot of them. This thing is just super bright with that fiber reticle in there when you want to just use the red dot. The turrets on this are very tactile and audible. They got a really nice positive stop in between each click. And I do like the fact that you can reset it to 0 right after you get it dialed in, right where you want it. Now when it comes to the glass quality on this, it's awesome. And like I said at the beginning of the video, they say they are using German Schott HT glass. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know when you look through this optic, it looks damn good. And the last pro with this has got to be the price, which I was blown away when I looked up and saw how much this optic is. And this thing's coming in under 280 beans right now on the Vector Optics US store website, which is pretty hard to believe, to be honest with you. But I can say without a doubt that it's worth every penny of that 280 beans. Now, I want to give a really big shout out to one of my subscribers here on YouTube and Rumble, Hot Dog 990. He provided all the ammo for this review on this optic and the upcoming review on the X-Tech Mag 47, which was super awesome and generous of him to do that. So Hot Dog, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. And the last thing I want to say before we get out of here, I really want to thank Vector Optics for sending this out to the channel for a review. I've worked with them in the past, and I've always been really happy with everything they've sent out. And this one right here is a home run. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.